Hi, everybody. We are going to start our next grammar unit, which is on run-ons, comma splices, and fragments. And we have this friendly little gorilla here who will attack you if you write these kinds of sentences. Keep that in mind. So I call this a grammar unit, but it's really more of a writing unit because fragments, comma splices, and run-ons are what we often see in your essays, and we need to revise those things. So a lot of times when I ask you to revise your essay, this is one of the big things I want you to look for. Do you have too little in a sentence? Do you have too much in a sentence? We want to write sound sentences, complete sentences. So in order to be complete, a sentence must have three things. Here's your first blank on your note sheet. A sentence must have a verb, a subject, and a complete thought. Write those three things down. So for example, Andre practiced jump shots to impress Coach Nelson. The subject is Andre, the verb is practiced, and the complete thought is the sentence. He practiced jump shots in order to impress his coach. It is a complete thought. This is a sound sentence. However, if one of those things is missing, you have a fragment. That's your next blank. For example, spinning the ball to impress his coach. There's no subject in that sentence. Who was spinning the ball? There's no complete thought. Without the subject, we don't have a coherent thought, so therefore we have a fragment. So in order to fix a fragment, you need to add whatever is missing to make it a complete sentence. So for example, we said that the subject was missing, so let's add a subject. We need to add Andre there. We also need to add a helping verb in order to make this a complete thought. So the correction to this sentence would be, Andre was spinning the ball to impress his coach. Let's do our checklist. We have a subject, Andre. We have a verb, was spinning. And yes, we do have a complete and coherent thought. Go ahead and write that corrected sentence on your note sheet. So next is run-on sentences or fused sentences, comma splices. This is when you have too much in a sentence. Let's look at an example. The first one here is a fused sentence. Andre sank a perfect basket from half court. Unfortunately, the coach's back was turned. So we've just mushed two simple sentences together. It's too much. We have no punctuation. That's a run-on. Or, Andre sank a perfect basket from half court, comma. Unfortunately, the coach's back was turned. I see you guys do this a lot in your essays. This is a comma splice. A comma is not strong enough to hold two sentences together. It is a run-on. It is wrong. It'll get you beaten up by the gorilla or arrested by the grammar police. We need to fix this. So both of these sentences are incorrect because they are run-ons. That's the next blank on your note sheet. So this is huge here. Next on your note sheet, there are three ways to fix a run-on. First, add a period. Make it two simple sentences. We're just going to divide that run-on up into two simple sentences. Number two, make it a compound sentence. You know how to do this. You can either have a comma coordinating conjunction, or you can use a semicolon. A comma is not strong enough, but a semicolon is. Remember, semicolons show the relationship between the two clauses. Or number three, you can make it a complex sentence, add a subordinating conjunction, make one of the clauses dependent. Any way of these three would work to fix a run-on sentence, and then you will have a complete and sound sentence. So let's look at our example here. We can either we can fix these run-on sentences by making it two simple sentences. Our first example, we're going to add a period and a capital letter. Andre sank a perfect basket from half court. End of one thought, put a period, capital letter. Unfortunately, the coach's back was turned. Look how excited Andre is now that we've fixed our sentence. Way to go. Let's make it a compound sentence. Andre sank a perfect basket from half court, semicolon. Unfortunately, the coach's back was turned. Just a little note here with semicolons. We want to use them sparingly, 3 to 4 times per essay max, Andre is telling you there. Semicolons are a good thing. Remember, they show relationships between two clauses. And while all your sentences should be related and reply to one another in your writing, semicolons, we can't have too much of a good thing with those. So let's make sure we use them only when it's necessary, only when we really need to. Or finally, we can add a subordinating conjunction and make this a complex sentence. Andre sank a perfect basket from half court after the coach's back was turned. So we've reduced the second clause to a dependent clause, making this a complex sentence. Remember the general rules when we punctuate complex sentences. If the dependent clause comes first, we need a comma. That's a D, comma, I. Or if the independent clause comes first, we need no comma. So for example, although Andre sank a perfect basket from half court, comma, dependent clause, the coach's back was turned, independent clause, or we need no comma because Andre sank a perfect basket from half court, independent clause, after the coach's back was turned. So here's our quick check just to recap. I want you to revise the following sentences to make them complete. The next 5 sentences on your note sheet here are all wrong. You need to decide what is wrong with them. If it's a fragment, add what's missing. Or if it's a run-on, choose one of the 3 methods to correct it. Make it a simple sentence, make it a compound sentence, or make it a complex sentence. Here are the sentences with the errors in them. Go ahead and check your answers with your neighbor.